Om Shanti. Today we will be actually taking the blessing from the Murli of March 13th. And Baba has been recently touching this aspect of past is past a lot lately in last couple of days, given that it's the time of the festival called Holi. Right? So Holi means to finish completely anything that has happened and passed, to let the past be the past and to move forward is to celebrate Holi. Now, there's deep significance of past as past. It's not just about, although it may start as putting a full stop to the thoughts of the past, but there is much deeper and greater secret and significance in what Baba is saying, because the thoughts, which are just abstract sounds, so thoughts actually create time, the concept of time, underlining the word concept. Thoughts also create imaginary self. And that is why Baba really wants us to know our truth prior to thoughts. Because when I know my truth prior to thoughts, then I realize that my Father and I are one, which is wordless, thoughtless, silent presence. Once I know that truth, it's not that I have to wait for all the thoughts to finish to know this truth of mine. This is the beauty of this Raj Yoga meditation, is that we don't have to wait for the purification of our mind to know our essence. In fact, first we know our essence of who we are, and then first we know the essence of who we are, and then we once we know the essence, then the purification of the mind and the body takes place. And that can take its time. But to know my essence, it's a matter of a second. So he calls it Jivan Mukti, liberation in life in 1 second. So this is the highest beauty of this knowledge, is that we come to know that that which I am is already free. That which I am is eternally free. And the one that is aware of all the thoughts and aware of all the feelings, memories, and perceptions is itself not a thought, is itself not a feeling, is itself not a perception or a memory. So immediately, as soon as I see this fact that I'm prior to thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions, I know my essential truth of just being silent presence. And this is the essence of all 8 billion formless minds, right? And or Nirakari Man in Hindi. So it's very important to really know this truth, because when Baba is saying past is past, then we know that the thought, why Baba is saying past is past. Why does he not want us to want these minds to dwell in the thoughts about the past? And past means what? It's imagination, because that which is already, it's not like it's existing somewhere back there in my memory, but it's just, it is in your memory, but memory is not somewhere back there in the past. It's not a line of time somewhere in the past where these events or these feelings or these memories exist. It's in the recesses of the mind itself, right? Which is where all these memories, all these scripted thoughts exist. So when Baba is saying past is past, the moment, as though, like even the words spoken last second, already finished. In fact, as I'm speaking, as even the thoughts are verbalized, and the thoughts are thought, it's already a past, which means it's already past, right? And which is why Baba is telling us is that don't dwell in the thoughts, because thoughts take a series of memories and perceptions and strings them together and makes them appear like a continuously existing person and a continuously existing world, right? So actually, if we see it in our experience, all we know of the world is perceptions. And perceptions are constantly coming and going. So what we are experiencing really, if we look into our experience at night, it's not that awareness goes to sleep. No, it is the world goes to sleep in awareness, and the world wakes up in awareness. Awareness is continuous. Perceptions and thoughts are intermittent experience, which is why when Baba tells us that don't dwell in the last imaginary past thought also, firstly because it will not fuel the imagination of imaginary future, because if there's no imaginary past, there is no imaginary future. Then what happens is in that the entire time, because thought and time are interconnected, and the moment the past second thought is also disassociated with, time collapses, and with time collapses the space. And with time and space collapses the entire universe in this dimensionless now, the eternal now, the eternal dimensionless point. Which is why the reason is in that all that is left is Baba. He is the world, and the mind collapses into Baba. Complete surrender. So then it's not, there's no continuously existing person. And because there's no continuously existing person, which is thoughts strung together to create a person, imaginary person, not even to create, but to imagine an imaginary person. And the moment that imaginary person is seen to be non-existent, then everything, all relationships that come with that imaginary self are also seen to be imaginary relationships. And the world in which the imaginary self lives in is also seen to be as imaginary world. Immediately, as soon as imaginary self's non-existence is seen, that it's just we woven together with few thoughts strung together, with a few perceptions strung together, which are intermittent, not continuous. But thoughts think, oh, what are we going to do? String all these perceptions on what? Okay, I'm going to make up a substance called time to join all these perceptions together. Sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. I will join them together and I'll create an image. And with that image, there is a continuously woven thought, which strings it's like put on the string of time, creates a continuously existing person. This is the reason why Baba says that never think about anything of the past of yourself or of others. Do not keep these things in your heart or even speak about them. Only then will you be able to become an intense effort maker. And this is the beauty, because the moment Baba is saying, don't think about anything of the past of yourself, because then the personal self, which is made out of thoughts strung together, along with perceptions, imagines itself to be a person with this memory and that memory and with this past and with this future, all imagination. It starts to dissolve. And as that dissolves, along with that, the world the universe, the time and the space collapses in this dimensionless point that is Baba. And then Baba truly, in true sense, is all relationships, because all other relationships have been seen to be imaginary, as the non-existence of imaginary self is seen. And when Baba is the world, all relationships are with Baba. Then there's no time and no space. One doesn't have to go anywhere. It's right here, right now. I can see myself, even as these words are spoken with the sound. I know these abstract sounds and conceptual words, and the imaginary self is giving meaning to these words and making it into an imaginary persona with the imaginary world around it, with the imaginary relationships. Because if there's no memory, then there is no personal self. There is no mother, father, uncle, auntie, daughter, son. All gone. The moment memory is gone. So it's very important to see why Baba is saying past is past. And we can see it experientially also, as we said. It's not that awareness goes to sleep. It's the world goes to sleep in you. In the sleep, the body is not remembered. The thoughts are not there of this story of this separate personal identity. And then even the world is not remembered the way it is in the waking state mind. So experientially, we can see the world sleeps when it's like the mind sleeps, the thoughts sleep, not the awareness. And when the mind wakes up in the morning, it creates a thought, oh, I have woken up and I had a good night's sleep, or I did not have a good night's sleep, right? So it is the mind that wakes up and then it says, right? And mind is nothing but the activity of awareness. And so it's very important to see this clearly, that world is not continuous, person is not continuous. It is the awareness that is continuous. In fact, it's not even continuous, it's ever present. And once that is seen, then we see that it's not even there is any separate imaginary self trying to make an effort to be combined with God. But it's like my Father and I are ever present and combined. In fact, my Father and I are one. And when this beauty is seen, then Baba is Karan Karavanhar, because there is no one else to do anything or to get anything done. It is Baba alone who can make things appear to be moving like on an unlimited screen. It appears that the images are moving and there's sound effect and there's movement and everything, but actually the entire movie has no life without the screen. The screen, they borrow the life from the screen, and Baba is that unlimited screen, and which gives life to all these thought-made characters on the screen and the world of the thought-made characters on the screen. But they're all imaginary. The real living being is one Baba and none other. That's why Baba says, make me your world. One Baba and none other. None but one. Why? Because in that, the entire imaginary world and the imaginary personal self dissolves. Now it is like as though Baba is using the sense perceptions and the mind, literally the mind, which is nothing but thoughts plus perceptions and sensations. Baba is using the body, which is bundle of sensations experienced in mind only. And Baba is using perceptions, which is why Golden Age is the age where Baba says, you don't need to remember me, because the mind is that Nirakari mind, that incorporeal, dimensionless mind is used directly by God. without any filters of finite mind. And that is why it's such a beauty to see that truly, for the mind that is totally surrendered to God, there's Baba is the world and Baba is the sanskar. Baba is the sansar and Baba is the sanskar. Which is why such a simple thing, past is past. It's like every second as though you've lost memory. Live as though you have lost your memory. When it's needed for practical purposes, Baba will make it happen. When not needed, allow you, the finite, you, the Nirakari mind, to rest in the silence of God. And once when we start see it like that, when all the Nirakari minds are like living in Baba's womb, Supreme Mother, so then all the minds are interconnected, right? So then when this Nirakari mind completely dissolves in the love of God, there's no separate existence known from Baba, that Baba is my world, Baba is my sanskar and sansar. I am literally, there is no separate me to do anything or to not do anything, to make an effort or to not make an effort. There is no separate me, but it's just Baba and Baba using this surrendered Nirakari mind. And then what happens is all the other minds are interconnected also at different levels, right? All minds are awake at different levels. But when we are awake to this extent, then Baba uses this mind, which is fully available for him. And then he's the lighthouse that shines light on other minds. And as per their recording, each one wakes up in their own time. But it's Baba who's the one who is serving the world. As this mind, one can only be totally surrendered. And in that surrender, the surrenderer also dissolves. And all that is left is one Baba and none other. Om Shanti.